All right, let's talk about LinkedIn. Specifically, let's talk about transforming your outreach from something that, let's be honest, probably gets ignored into a seriously powerful tool for getting new clients. We're going to ditch the generic requests and start getting some actual replies. Does this feel familiar? You find the perfect person, you craft what you think is a decent request, you hit send, and then crickets, just nothing. It is so frustrating, right? Well, you're not alone. It's a huge problem, but it's one we are absolutely going to fix right now. And this right here is the number one reason why. This is the default message, the one that screams, I put zero thought into this. It gives the person on the other end absolutely no reason to click accept. It's basically the junk mail of the professional world. But what if I told you there's a simple, structured way to cut right through all that noise? A method that isn't complicated at all, but is, well, kind of like a cheat code for getting noticed. It's called the SCQA framework, and it's designed to do one thing really, really well. Help you write a friendly one-paragraph connection request that actually gets read and, more importantly, gets a response. It's all about lead generation, but in a way that feels natural. So, what on earth does SCQA even stand for? It's super simple, I promise. S is for situation. You start with a shared context. C is for complication. You bring up a problem inside that situation. Q is for question. You pose the question that naturally comes from that problem. And A is for answer, where you, of course, are the answer. Okay, let's break that down a little more. First up, S for situation. This is your opening line. This is where you prove you've done, at least 30 seconds of research. You're starting with something you both share, something relevant. It immediately signals, hey, I'm not just spamming you, I actually see what you're doing. Then you move on to C, the complication. Now this is your hook. You take that situation you just mentioned and introduce a challenge, a pain point that you know people in their position are dealing with. This is where you show you understand their world. And that complication leads perfectly to the Q for question. You see, by bringing up their problem, you've already planted a question in their mind. Something like, okay, yeah, so how do I fix that? All you're doing here is saying that question out loud for them. It gets them nodding along. And finally, you bring it home with A, the answer. This is your moment. You're not launching into a massive sales pitch, no way. You're just concisely and confidently positioning yourself or your service as the direct solution to the exact problem you just brought up. Simple, clean, and powerful. Okay, so what does this all look like when you put it together? Check this out. It flows perfectly, right? I see you lead a sales team. That's the situation. They struggle to ramp up new hires. That's the complication. How to onboard faster. That's the question. And boom, I specialize in a framework that cuts ramp time. That's the answer. It's all there in one compelling little paragraph. It's kind of brilliant. And the real beauty of this whole thing? Once you nail the formula for a specific type of client, it becomes your go-to template. The goal isn't to write a masterpiece from scratch every single time. It's to build a system of outreach that you can, well, pretty much copy and paste because you know it just works. So just to recap why this is such a game changer, it makes you instantly relevant. It's persuasive without being pushy or salesy because it tells a mini story. It's super easy to replicate. And maybe most important of all, it makes the entire conversation about their problem, not about how great your product is. I mean, when you look at it side by side, the difference is just, it's night and day, isn't it? You go from generic and ignored to relevant and persuasive. You go from talking about yourself to talking about them. And you go from just asking for something to actually offering a solution. It's a completely different league. So that's the SCQA framework. It's a simple, structured, and honestly respectful way to start a conversation with the people who matter most to your business. The only real question left is, whose attention are you going to capture first?